All right, here we are. Welcome to Show of Hands Hangout number 6, I think. Um, and we have 2, 3, 4, 5 people on today. So I would like everyone to quick introduce yourselves. I think everyone, now we have 4 people on. Are you coming back? Everyone except one has been on before. So that's still just fine. Everyone is going to quick say your name, just generally where you're from, and by name I guess I mean your username on the app, and then what you'd like us to call you on here. And we'll start with that. So why don't we start with the guy with the bookcase.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm Melders on the app. What else was I supposed to say? Let's see. I'm from Washington State. Was there something else?
No, that's about the long and short of it.
All right, great.
Kyle.
Hi. Well, he introduced me. I'm Kyle, Mr. Lucchese on the app, so call me whatever.
Julie.
I'm Julie. I go by Mama Pumba on the app. We hail from... What?
I didn't realize that until this morning.
Oh.
You replied to one of my comments, and I was like, I get it now. It makes sense.
Yeah, we're from the state, right? Michigan. Fantastic.
And Cole, you're up.
Yeah, I'm Cole12 from the app. You can just call me Cole, like last time. And I am from Amish country, Pennsylvania. But I'm not Amish or Mennonite, so.
I was going to say, I think the internet gave you away.
He actually has little hamsters that are running a wheel to power this.
Ah, fantastic.
It's got a turning magnet. You could, in theory, do it. They just have to be fast hamsters.
Yeah, really fast hamsters.
A hooch.
I am Mr. Williams, or, well, on the app I'm Crazy Hooch. I'm from Michigan, so
Sorry.
that's the fun stuff.
Got some quick this or that questions for you. Let's start with Mark. From Jenna F. Wintergreen or spearmint?
Spearmint. It depends on what I'm in the mood for, but yeah.
Rain or snow? Oh, this isn't right asking someone from Washington State, but...
No.
Boo!
Is this just
Rain.
a novelty, or...?
Yeah, mostly. I don't know. Rain's just, it's so wet.
Yes.
It's the worst.
Shrek or Finding Nemo?
Finding Nemo, for sure. Most definitely. Basically, everything Pixar.
That was a really quick answer.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no contest, honey.
Everybody loves Finding Nemo.
Kyle, bar or liquid shower soap?
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Liquid.
Do you have a
Coffee.
loofah? Sorry.
Do you have a
I
loofah?
do, actually.
Well, I was going to say it would make sense if you had liquid, but I didn't know. Okay, sorry.
Coffee or tea?
Tea. I don't drink coffee at all.
Real quick for everyone, does anyone else not drink coffee?
Me.
I don't.
I don't.
Yeah, all of you are wrong. Every one of you.
I've actually never had coffee in my life. I've had coffee ice cream, but never had coffee.
I'm sorry for your loss.
You're not missing out.
You're not missing out.
I did have an energy drink once, though.
How'd you feel after that energy drink?
Horrible. I was like bouncing off the walls. I had to twitch for a few hours. It was
Yeah, I drink a lot of energy drinks.
interesting. Yeah, I don't need the extra caffeine. I'm hyped up enough.
And are you right or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Is anyone else left-handed?
I'm left-handed.
I know.
All the cool people are.
Is anyone else
Wow,
left-handed?
okay.
Julie, Summer or Winter Olympics?
Ooh. Summer?
Are you
Summer.
sure?
Yeah. No, I'm not sure. I like them both. I'm gonna go with summer.
Smoothies or milkshakes?
Like on a day-to-day or on a
Right
day
now.
I would go for a milkshake right now, but if I was gonna have one perpetually every day, it would be a smoothie.
Breakfast or lunch?
What?
Which meal do you enjoy more, breakfast or lunch? Assuming you didn't have to wake up early for one or the other.
Breakfast.
Cole,
Yes.
for ice cream, in a bowl or on a cone?
Always a bowl. I don't like cones.
Really? Pen or pencil?
Pencil.
Hummus or salsa?
I guess hummus.
All right. And Hooch, parade or fireworks?
Fireworks.
Cookies or cupcakes?
Cupcakes.
That's a
Don't
tough
laugh
one.
at me, Julie.
And pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
All right. Well, cool. I've got some would you rather questions, and I have 3 that are not from user polls, and then 4 that are from user polls. So I'll start with ones that aren't, and save the better ones for after. Cole, would you rather have, or I guess the question's for everyone, but we'll have Cole answer first. Would you rather have a 2-day hangover, or have to read YouTube comments for 12 solid hours?
I have never had a hangover, so like I can't really compare it. So I'll go with the YouTube comments, I guess.
Kyle.
How bad is the hangover?
Yeah.
And how bad are the YouTube quotes?
YouTube comments are always bad. So like
They really are.
you have bad and then you have YouTube.
Yeah. Have you been hungover?
No.
Okay. We'll say. I want to just say average, but that's hard to gauge.
Everyone, get drunk right now, and then tomorrow we'll find out what the average hangover's like.
Perfect.
Great.
Perfect.
Now I'll go with the YouTube comments, just so I don't sound like an alcoholic.
Mark, you're up.
I'm gonna also go with YouTube comments. There might be like one worthwhile thing in there, or 2.
Like
You're
reading his
way
comments.
over.
And it's over before the other one, right? So, because it was 2 days versus 12 hours. Is that
2
right?
days versus 12 hours, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, get it out of the way. That's what I'd go with.
Okay. Julie?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the YouTube comments because that's 12 hours versus the 2 days.
And Corey, or Cooch.
Oh, he's been exposed.
I'm sorry. It's hard knowing people in real life because.
Uh, do I have to do things with the hangover?
Well, you have to be awake. You can't just sleep for 2 days and say, "Oh, I had a hangover."
Hey,
Why
well,
not?
I've had hangovers where I just sleep all day. So.
Well, that's not no.
Like if I have
He
to get
doesn't
up
have
and do
kids.
things, it's
He's not-
Yeah, you have to carry on with like your normal activities. Like if you have to go to work, you gotta go to work. If you have to go to school, you go to school.
uh,
Oh, don't even say the hangover. You would not have a hangover for 2 days.
I'm gonna say hangover just because you said I wouldn't.
You would.
I'll come over. All I'll do is I'll come over to Julie's house. She can just start cooking me food. That way I can eat away the hangover.
And I would still let you in too. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
But in all seriousness, YouTube comments, I hate hangovers.
How about, let's see, would you rather have an arranged marriage or be single forever, no dating even?
I hated this question.
I know. I'm sorry.
So much.
I am sorry. I really am. It's,
I have a
it's
question.
a mean question.
You can't date, but can you still like have casual hookups and everything?
Exactly what I was thinking.
Only if you're paying for them.
Okay, I'll still go with that.
If you're paying for it,
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't want an arranged marriage. I'll just be single and get prostitutes. That's fine. Okay.
You do that anyway.
Who's arranging said marriage? Your parents?
Yeah, my parents.
Not your
No.
parents.
your parents. No.
Then it's a double now. Then it's a
I
double
know.
now.
I know, me too. No, we'll say your parents.
Okay.
Yeah, you're up for answering then.
I would probably take the arranged marriage because I don't think my parents would try to screw me over like that. And they like, I'm just saying. I mean, like, no. I don't want to say that, like that. People who have arranged marriages that they're getting screwed by their parents or anything like that. I'm just saying that I trust my parents enough to find somebody that at least I would be able to respect.
That's a very diplomatic answer.
I don't at all.
Well, if your parents were in charge, I'd hook up with prostitutes too.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. Kyle, you're up.
Confessions of a married couple. I would go with the arranged marriage and get a divorce.
I don't think that's.
No,
I
you're
don't
stuck in the
care,
arranged marriage.
Because no. If you can pay for sex,
Kyle trying
can
to
get
find a
it.
loophole.
They'll arrange another one for you.
I will kill them. I will just run out of people to arrange my marriages.
So this is a poll, or this is a question where matricide is not an option.
I told you I hated this question.
It's a good question, actually.
It is.
And it totally depends on who's
But
around
if
you.
I can't get a divorce, I would do the second option.
And it totally depends on who's around you. If it was Julie's parents choosing, I would trust them to pick someone for me. Hopefully their daughter, but and hopefully the right one at that.
Oh yeah, good luck with that one, honey.
But no, my own parents, no. No, that wouldn't fly. Hooch.
My parents' intentions are great.
I hear a butt coming.
But they have horrible taste in relationships. They really do.
But they married one another.
Well,
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they're no longer
That's
together.
not always a good decision.
Oh, okay.
For some people, that's not.
Like, yeah, they married one another, and that was a bad decision in itself.
But we got
Yeah.
you, so
Right.
We're
Right.
just continuing the bad.
ooh.
So the problem is that like the last person that they liked that I had in a relationship ended up like being so crazy that she was upset with me when we went out for a night, and she threw glasses from the table on the floor and stomped on them.
She a redhead?
That's just called Thursday.
Yeah, that's called Thursday. That's called what my parents think is good for me. So I'm gonna go with the prostitutes.
It's reflex training, man.
Right.
Oh boy.
Mark, what do you think?
I'd probably be single forever.
Yeah.
And just leave the prostitutes. No prostitutes.
What's the meme? Forever alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that's called my theme picture.
Next question. That sounds like a good time to switch topics, right?
Yeah.
Are you just avoiding the question yourself?
Yeah.
No. I
No,
answered. I answered. If it's my parents arranging the marriage, then I am single forever. If it's Julie's parents arranging the marriage, then I'm about it. I don't necessarily have a problem with the idea of arranged marriage. It works in some cultures, and I assume that if I lived in one of those cultures, I'd be a less whatever to it. I don't know, but it would involve your parents definitely having your best intentions in mind, and I'm gonna be single forever in this case.
Does anybody else hear that whirring?
Yeah,
What is that? Am I going crazy?
I hear it too.
Is it our connection?
No,
Maybe me. Give me 1 sec.
No, I don't care. I just.
Stop cutting up bodies off camera.
It was
that's
what?
okay.
Is it better now?
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
It was
It
my
sounded
fan.
like. Oh, I was gonna say it sounded like somebody was perpetually shuffling cards.
Oh, actually, I'm doing that too.
Oh, okay,
It's kind
I've
of
got a disorder.
good.
Mark.
Yes.
Oh shoot, this question only half. Okay, that's fine. Congratulations, you are now female. Would you rather have your first child at 17 or at 45?
45. I mean, I'd be more prepared. So, yeah.
Is this because he was the prostitute or in the arranged marriage?
Oh, 45 with a prostitute. I'm sorry, Mark, this isn't shaping up so well.
Oh, man.
Bring your kid to work day is gonna suck.
Yeah, but no, like 17, I would have had to like quit college to take care of a kid. Yeah, that would not have gone over well. So 45 it is.
Kyle.
Do I have to support the child?
I'm sorry you didn't come in at all on that
Do I
one.
have to support the child?
Well, you can't just like leave it to its own defenses.
You can't abandon it.
No.
give it up for adoption. I think it was
Yeah.
what it meant.
No. Quite honestly, if I had to do either, and adoption was an option, I would say 17.
Do you have a quick why or
45, I would be. By the time they're going to college or doing something outside of high school, they would. I'd be like.
You would be a senior citizen.
Yeah,
You would.
I'd be in my 60s, and I'd want to, not be dealing with teenage children. Um, Not that I'd ever want to be dealing with teenage children, but yeah. I,
No, that's fair. Julie, you're up.
Well, seeing how we have children, and I think that we had them at a very young age,
We did.
if I had to go through,
We weren't 17, but
you're giving our age away. No, just kidding. If I had to go through what I went through with the first, I would definitely want to do that at 17 versus 45. I think I would still be recovering if I was 45 and went through that. I also, I don't know, I would just go younger because, well, I know myself when I was 17 as well, and where I might not have been able to go to college right away, it definitely would have still been something that I would have done when I could. And as we have already pointed out, my parents are pretty awesome. So if I would have had a child at 17, I'm sure they would have helped me out.
Cole?
Assuming I have to raise the child myself, then I'd say 45, just because I'd be more, financially prepared and everything. Like, if I were 17, I'd probably, well, I am 17 right now, so if I had a child, to take care of, I'd have to, get a job and, a real, full-time job, and I probably would push off college, and it would probably ruin my life, honestly, so I'll go
It is
with
definitely a life changer.
It would ruin your life either way.
Me personally, yeah, it would ruin my life either way, 45 or 17.
But if you have it at 45, you at least had 44 years of good life.
True that.
Marriage is like a coffin, and each child is another nail.
That's a good point.
Take it
I
back.
love that phrase.
I haven't heard this phrase.
It's from The Simpsons.
Oh, probably that's why. I wasn't allowed to watch that.
Those kids would be other nails. Hooch, you're up.
Oh, great. 17, because I'd be worried about the health of the baby at 45. And
That's not on you, though.
also, well, it doesn't really matter. Either age I have the baby, my mom's going to try and steal it anyway. So, I'm pretty sure 17 would be better for the health of the child, and also because, at 17, I still had, a lot of resources versus right now I'm a little bit behind. But I'm pretty sure my mom would have helped, my dad would have helped, but I don't know where I'm going to be at 45 if I'm even going to be around. So I would say 17.
Cool. I'm with you on the 17 thing. Physically, I think 45 would be brutal. And I like the idea of being able to play with my kids. Like, we go for bike rides and we go run around outside and stuff like that. And that's a whole lot easier to do at, well, I guess my oldest is 5, so that's a whole lot easier to do at 22 than at 50. So that'd be my reasoning. All right, user polls. Still would you rather's though. From Yellow Flash 1220, who was really active for a while, and then I haven't seen in a while, but I don't know, school probably. Would you rather have extremely vivid dreams, both good and bad, or no dreams at all? Let's start with Hooch. We'll go the opposite direction.
All right. Actually, I already have really vivid dreams, both good and bad. And the nights when you dream every night, but the nights that I do remember my dreams, even if they're bad, I really it really doesn't bother me that much. It's just one of those things where I kind of wake up and get into a better state of mind before I go back to sleep. But I would rather have vivid dreams than no dreams at all, because I don't know, even the bad dreams aren't that bad, and they kind of aren't entertaining to me in some way. And to never dream, that kind of, I don't know, I feel like I'd miss dreaming.
Cool.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said. I mean, I have vivid dreams, sometimes, not always, and I don't remember them all the time, but I feel like it'd be kind of boring not to dream at all. So.
Julie, you're up.
I would go with the dreams. Yeah.
Kyle?
No dreams.
No dreams. Why no dreams?
I don't dream right now, thanks to earlier in life issues. So wouldn't be much of a change, and I don't feel like dealing with bad dreams.
And Mark?
I would definitely choose the vivid dreams. I barely dream at all right now, or I never remember them if I do. And when I do dream, it's always so cool, even if it's like a nightmare or something. I wake up, I'm like, that was so scary, that was awesome. But yeah, so it kind of sucks. I wish I dreamt more.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think dreams are fun, and I think half the time I'm fairly aware that I'm dreaming, and it's fun to mess with it. Despair asks, would you rather wear rollerblades everywhere you go, or end every sentence with, right, man?
I remember that poll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll start with you, Kyle.
Right, man?
No. Rollerblades everywhere, I guess, because if I had to end my sentence with that every time, I could never get a job.
Right, man?
And again, those would have to be some really comfortable roller skates. And your feet would really smell.
Well, it's not that you can't take them off, you just have to wear them everywhere.
Oh.
I imagine you can take them off and bathe them, and...
Okay. I'd go with that.
Cool.
I love rollerblading, but to do it 24/7, or even not 24/7, to do it most of the time would be kind of horrible. So I'm gonna go with right man, I guess.
You should do that for the rest of today.
No, you shouldn't.
I think I should, right, man?
Right.
Right, man.
Mark, what do you think?
Rollerblades for sure. Yep. I sit a lot and I talk quite a bit, so I think the rollerblades affect my life less than saying right man all the time.
Right, man.
Julie, you're up.
I think I would have to go with the roller skates. I mean, this race next weekend would go by so much faster.
It would.
But I could not say right man after every sentence. How am I supposed to teach kids anything? Oh yeah, so we're gonna hold the bow and we're gonna play the F sharp like this, right man? No. No.
It'd be kind of hard to drive that with rollerblades on, you know what I mean?
I'm sure you'd well, maybe you just roller skate everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking earlier how inefficient walking is.
Right,
It
man?
takes so long to... Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's a gift instead of a curse.
Yeah, you might have to move somewhere where rollerblading places is a legitimate option.
Yeah. Like Jenna Nerd in Alaska would be out of luck.
And anywhere rural. Hooch.
Right, man?
I know. It's not even a change.
I know, right, man? Obviously, I'd choose right, man. Right, man.
You
I
will
don't know.
never
I
be
play.
welcome.
I play soccer. I love soccer, and I love being able to take a walk rather than going rollerblading. No, ice hockey on rollerblades would not be easy.
Living near a beach would stop being very appealing.
Right, and then the snow all the time around here would be awful, right, man?
But you'd have an excuse to get rid of your car.
Right, man?
I'm wearing the roller skates. I'm definitely wearing the roller skates. I think it'd be too awkward.
You muted yourself, Corey.
No, I muted him.
Oh. Well played. Well played.
Oh, who killed his video? Did you do that
Here's
too?
this video.
Sorry, that was good. Good job.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I remember the last call I was on, you had recommended jalapeno. And then
Yeah.
the principle, why do groups of sorority girls have an odd number of people in them?
I didn't see that poll.
Because they, literally can't even.
Oh, I did see that poll.
I was like, okay.
That's good. That's pretty good.
Oh. Right, man?
That's funny.
That is.
Holly May 77, who asks, I changed the first couple words of the question because I thought it informed it a little. But regardless, you wake up in a cave with two pathways. To the left, you see a dim and faraway light. To the right, you hear a faint and soft voice. Which way do you go? Julie, you're first.
Am I by myself? Did I wake up in a cave with you, or am I by myself?
Oh, I think if we wake up in a cave together, we don't need to go left or right.
Children.
Right, man?
Right, man. I think I would go to the left. Yeah, I'm going to the left.
The left was the light, right?
Yep, I'm going towards the light. Are the voices, can I understand them, or are they just noises?
We'll say you can get that they're speaking.
Nah, I'm going left. I don't want to see other people I don't know.
And yet you're here.
Well, I'm getting to know you guys, and I've seen you guys on the app enough. It's nice to put faces to names, but these people, I don't know. Well, you guys could be not so also, but I don't know what their intentions are. And if I'm in a cave by myself and that is not where I went to sleep, I don't know. I'm going to the left.
Mark, how about you?
All right, so she was about to ask these questions, but how much can I make out about these voices? Deep, or can I tell the age, the gender, anything?
Yeah.
It's the voice of John Wayne Gacy.
Do they sound angry?
Man, definitely left.
No, it's fairly faint. You can't tell too much, but you can maybe tell you can maybe pick out random words here and there, but they're completely innocuous words that don't tell you anything.
Okay, so is this a real life scenario where I could walk that direction
You're roller
until I
skating.
can actually tell what those words are, and then make a decision? Once
There is
hear them?
a door that slams shut behind you once you take 2 steps in either direction.
Oh boy.
So you're in a cave with a door. I love it.
Oh man. I can't like stand there yell down one end and down. No.
If you want to.
Okay. Well, I would probably go toward the light. The other way is dark, presumably, with a creepy voice, maybe. So, yeah.
Or maybe it's Kate Upton and you lose.
I
I'm just kidding.
don't know if it's Kate Upton. I might go the other way, anyways.
I don't know. I don't know why that popped into my head first, but that's the first person that popped into my head. I don't know why she's in a cave either.
She woke up there. She doesn't know either.
It's Justin Bieber. That's who it is. And remember, the door slammed behind you, so there's no going back.
You can use Justin Bieber's body to break the wall.
You might be able to, but it might fall apart too. I
Sharp
think we found that we pick on that dude quite a bit on here.
Yeah, I noticed in last week's episode, none of you guys are Bieber fans.
Yeah,
Well, Cora married him, so
Yeah,
It's true.
that's unfortunate.
he picked the arranged marriage and he got Justin Bieber.
No, I didn't. I picked the prostitutes.
And you still got Justin Bieber.
yeah, that means you paid for him.
Oh, boo.
Okay, sorry. We digress.
How about you, Corey? Or Hooch, there's a,
I'm going towards the light. I already made that decision when I first heard it.
so what you're saying is you're not going right then?
Right, man.
Cool.
Oh, man. Everybody's going to hate me now. I seriously do not say that after everything I say, just so you know. Just so everybody knows. This is not how I talk.
Oh, this will be fun.
Yeah.
No, Cole.
Oh, well, if I wake up in a cave, I'm gonna assume that somebody put me there,
Yeah.
and it would make the most sense that it is the voices that put me there, and they kidnapped me or something. So I'm gonna go towards the light, definitely. I'm gonna presume that that's a way, back to the surface. So,
Kyle, you're killing me. Seriously?
Also, you're up.
He's making the voices.
The voice is Kyle's.
Voices in the dark.
Dude, can you add
There
a
you
monocle?
go. This is John Wayne Gacy.
I don't know. I guess I'll go with the voices. Just
Because they'd be more scared of you than you are of them.
right now, I'd be more scared of me if I looked in the mirror.
Although I do love the mustache.
It completes it.
A monocle and an eye patch. Is this what we've digressed to? No more answering polls.
Also, I wasn't aware it was Cole's birthday today. Did anyone know?
No.
candle won't blow up.
Aww.
It's a drink handle.
Wow. Sad trombone.
Okay. Sorry.
No, as you were. Did
What would
did
you
I have
rather?
you answered?
Yeah.
Oh, me.
I said I would go to the voices.
Right, I was distracted by the clown cat dog mustache. I'd go towards light for sure. Definitely to the left.
Wait, I want a cake. I don't have cake.
so focused right now.
RVA asks for everyone, if you could attend any university anywhere, where would it be? Or would you have still picked your alma mater if it applies?
Are we paying for it?
We'll say no.
Can we repeat that? Because I wasn't paying attention at all.
If you could attend any university, anywhere at all. Hold on a sec. Yeah, if you could attend any university anywhere, where would it be? Or would you still have picked your alma mater if it applies?
So it sounds like this is for a bachelor's degree, I guess, maybe? Or is this like...
Yeah, we'll say...
For your job.
Yeah.
Oh. No? Okay.
Pick your degree.
I guess I'm answering this now.
Yeah, why not? You're up.
Okay. I don't know. I haven't really done... If it were like going back to get a master's or something, I haven't done research or anything. I don't want to go back to get a master's. So I'm going to act like this is getting a bachelor's, and I don't know. Things turned out pretty well at my school. I'll just go back there, I guess. Do I remember like my past? Probably not.
Did you have a spotted past?
No. But like, I obviously, if I could go back and remember everything I remember now, I wouldn't want to do the same school, because then I could, like, it'd be boring. I'd remember everything. So I'd go to some totally different school. Never mind. Oh well. I'll just go to my alma mater. We'll say that. It's easy here.
Kyle.
Oh, sorry. I would go to Harvard.
You're doing business, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I don't think you have to explain that one very much.
Yeah, that's the thing. Harvard's kind of self-explanatory.
It is. Julie, you're up.
If I was going strictly for academic reasons, I would not go to our alma mater. But I like the people that I met there, so I would probably go back so that history didn't change. But if we're all going to Harvard together, then we can all go to Harvard together. But if you chose somewhere else, then I would just go back to our alma mater.
Cole?
Harvard or UPenn. I mean, it's going to be the best, return on investment, return on your time. I mean, getting a degree from there guaranteed to, pretty much make a lot of money if you do well. So.
I was just thinking we could go to Princeton or not, like someone.
I'm missing something on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of an inside joke now. Between pretty much everybody on show fans.
Was this the... Oh, was this that guy that... You weren't that guy, were you?
No.
Cole, you weren't that... Tell me you weren't that guy.
No, me? Oh, no.
Okay, I remember it. Yeah.
He is from my state now. He is from my state.
Yeah, it was Nathan saying, I'm not going to go to Princeton!
Yeah, someone chose their high school girlfriend over Princeton.
That's sweet. Very stupid, but sweet.
It's stupid, not sweet.
And he asked a poll about it, and it got like 300 comments, I think, and everybody pretty much said the same thing. Worst decision of your life. Whoa.
Maybe it wasn't a legitimate choice, and maybe it was one of these. I'm going to try and get a 100% unanimous poll result. I mean, I hope they made it past Thanksgiving. Hooch, where are you going?
I've got three choices.
Got to pick one.
So it's between U of M, Stanford, or MIT. If it's for weather, I'd go to Stanford.
Stanford. Yeah.
I was gonna say, but I don't know. I'm probably thinking MIT. So I'd be right next to you guys, but
I'd gladly join you all at Harvard. I'll go to Chicago. I'll go to the University of Chicago in the fall.
hey, one of my professors
I'd be okay with that.
there loved it, so
That's
there's
what my
nothing wrong with
Harvard
that.
diploma would say to you.
Keeping in mind that I'm not doing business and I'm doing physics.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
Aylin asks, how's everybody's day and how's everyone's love life? We'll start with you, Hooch.
Oh God! My day is good. It's been busy, but my love life is never good. Never good. Just refrain from asking me about love lives.
Cole, how about you?
My day was good, except I had a lot of studying to do. My love life is non-existent, except I did just get 100 matches on Tinder, which is kind of impressive, I think.
Hey,
And you have your right hand still.
What?
And you have your right hand still.
Yes, I do. I know, that was a lot of right swiping. Oh my god, it's been a month I've been on there. But I have gotten 100 matches, which is alright.
yeah.
I
I don't know anything about it at all.
Michigan.
I don't know anything about it at all, but I don't know too many people that have gone to a bar and gotten 100 matches, so I think that's probably good, right?
I did hear about one guy who got 2,000 matches, though, so that's pretty impressive, I think. That's the most I've ever heard.
It was Kyle. He has more followers. No, we were talking beforehand about how insanely many followers Kyle has.
He has like 2,000 or 3,000 now, I think.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I don't know if anyone has more.
It's only I don't think so, but it's only because I follow so many people. I would never actually take credit and be like, wow, I'm actually worth following, because I never post more.
I think we all like you enough. Julie, how's your day? How's your love life?
I don't remember the day, so it was busy or good or something. It
How was the drive?
was good. I got home safely.
I'm more interested in the love life part.
How old is everybody here?
Old enough.
Cole, cover your ears.
Yeah. So this one time, no, love life it's happening. Also, I want to give a shout out to my girl Aylin. We love you. You're the best.
Indeed, she is.
Way to go, Aylin.
Kyle, how are things?
Okay. Doing pretty well.
On both fronts?
Confusing. Yeah, confusing is probably the word for it.
How about you, Mark?
My day was pretty normal. Went to work, and then I did this, which is not normal. Let's see. And then love life, recently single. We'll leave it at that.
For the better?
Well, I made me recently,
Determined?
so I hope so.
Okay. And I mean, my answer is going to pretty much match Julie's.
It better.
I hope so.
I'm just
I
kidding.
hope so.
It better.
It was a pretty weird day.
It was busy. We had a lot of makeup stuff to do since we're going to be out of town this weekend. So there's a lot more running around, but I think we handled it pretty gracefully.
Where you go?
And we handled some other things for. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, she's running a big race this weekend. Yeah, you should mention that.
I think you just did.
She's running the Chicago Marathon,
Wow.
and I think that's impressive.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I might not be here Tuesday because I'm dead.
But you know it's something when if you finish in the first 10,000, you're doing extraordinarily well.
I don't think I'm going to
If
be
you can
finishing.
finish at all, if you can finish 26 miles at all, I'd say that's pretty good.
That's where I'm at, Cole. I just want to finish. I don't want to die.
Childish asks, you've just been given the ability to cure one medical condition. Which do you choose? Cancer or the common cold?
That's a really good question.
I was going to say, taking a second to realize that if you're curing the common cold, you've just cured something viral. So, start with, is anyone ready on this?
I said cancer.
Yeah, I'm ready on this. Oh,
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, Kyle, you're up.
I said cancer, mainly because a cold, the only time it would probably kill someone is if they have an incredibly weak immune system, in which they probably die from anything. So, cancer, depending on the cancer. And if it's just talking about one single type of cancer, which I don't think it is, I took it as being cancer in its entirety,
Me too.
kills a lot more people.
Mark.
Cancer, for sure. Yeah. That stuff's scary. Like, if you're the one who gets hit with the die, then you die. Yeah, that was interesting. Well, but yeah, no one wants that hanging over their head, and obviously no one, wants to be the one that gets it.
Julie?
I'm going to have to go with cancer, too. Absolutely. And Mark, I loved how, you're like, of course it's going to be this.
Yeah.
Loved it. Yep, cancer.
Cole?
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, it wasn't as easy of a decision for me as it was for the rest of them, but
I know, I thought
yeah,
this
I
was
think
really
cancer.
hard. Hooch?
Cancer.
I had to really take a while to think about it.
Really?
Yeah, because of the implication of curing something viral. That if you're
Right.
curing a common cold, you're essentially you found a way to cure something
But I
caused
didn't
by a
really
virus,
think
which
about
means
it.
that you could be curing something like AIDS also.
Okay. See, that's valid.
The research parameters that go with that are, or the research the opportunities that go with that are so very big that that I think it's a much harder question than it first sounds like of cancer versus a cold. I mean, if it's just cancer or just a cold, then yeah, of course you cure cancer. Like that's, but
That's the way I was looking at it.
but with what you can get from the ability to cure cancer versus with what you can get from the ability to cure the cold, I think that's a really tough question. So, Well, since 5 of you have already cured cancer, I think I might jump on the common cold. But yeah, I had to really think about that one. So I thought it was interesting enough to bring up. We've got a couple discussion questions, and these are all from users also. Oh, this was one I liked. Egglayer says, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? Hooch, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you are?
Mentally, probably 5. Physically, my body is probably about 60. So somewhere in that range. But I don't know if that narrows it down. I don't know. I kind of, when I forget how old I am, my knee-jerk reaction is to say that I'm like 23 for some reason.
How about you, Cole?
Like, how does this work again? I'm kind of confused.
How old would you be if you didn't know how old you were?
Well, wouldn't I still be the same age? I just wouldn't know it.
I was going to say, take it open to interpretation, too.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Just because you don't know something's true doesn't mean it's not true.
Julie?
I would go with 32.
Those adults are 32?
Yeah, because for some reason in my head, all adults are 32. And I don't know. And I don't feel like we act our age. Can we say how old we are in here?
Yeah.
Well, I'm 28. I guess you are too. But I don't feel like we act like typical 28-year-olds. So, and I think that's a nice age. I wouldn't mind being 32 forever, maybe. I don't know. I guess I have a couple years to find out. But I think that I would place myself as older than I am.
Kyle?
Seriously?
I am channeling my inner dark horse.
Nice.
Very cool.
He takes so many pictures, but I'm jealous because he has a great beard. I can never,
That's a
ever
great
grow that, ever.
That is a great shout out.
I was going to say, I like him, too. I realized only very recently that I wasn't following him. Because Julie would bring up polls. Hey, what'd you say on this one? I didn't see that one. What'd you say? I didn't see that one either.
Yeah, he was one of the ones that I was saying to follow last week, too.
Mm-hmm.
Who is this?
Dark
Horse.
Okay.
I don't think I follow him.
Oh yeah, Paul, question. I don't think if I didn't know how old I was that I would pick an age. I mean, I'm 20 now, but I've never seen myself as being the age that I am. I've always thought of myself as being much older, mentally at least.
I would have guessed you at older, even having seen you.
Yeah, someone thought I was 27 today. But if you see my little brother actually looks older than I do. So anytime I'm with him, people are like, "Oh, he's your younger brother." I'm like, "No, I'm the older one."
The exact opposite happens to me.
But I really don't think I'd pick an age if I didn't know how old I was, because if you don't know how old you are, then what's the purpose? Because my biggest thing is that age doesn't really mean much beyond the biological implications. Like, a woman can't generally give birth past a certain point, so that'd be a biological implication of her age. Or men, the general puberty range.
Erectile dysfunction.
Which
You went there, didn't you?
It doesn't happen to everyone.
I was just gonna.
Are you trying to tell us something with your 60-year-old body issues?
It's from the hookers.
And it's like he has a sad love life.
This just gets worse and worse, doesn't it?
You brought it on yourself.
Ask me if I care.
Right, bro?
Right, bro? No, it's hey, right man.
Okay, I even failed. All right. But I'm totally with you, Kyle. Like, why pick an age, if there's whatever. I got it. Yeah.
Mark, how old are you?
So I'm going to interpret this question differently because it asks, if you don't know how old you are, how old are you, right? Not how old do you think you are.
Sure.
So I'm going to say like 1 or 99. I feel like on those two spectrums, I won't know how old I am, but everywhere else, I will.
Okay.
That's brilliant. I love it.
I do like that. I know.
Way to be clever, Mark.
That's how I first interpreted the question. It wasn't even cleverness. It was like, what are you all... Oh, and then I figured out what you were answering, and yeah.
That's good, though. That's good.
Antoinette asks, should schools get involved with helping to stop cyberbullying? And I would start with Kyle on this one.
If it has implications within the student's academic performance or affects their ability to interact with others inside school, it has to be noticeable. Like, they can't stalk the person and find out. You have to see some effect and have access to it. I mean, in order for them to actually have known that it was there, they would have had to see it, which means they're either friends with the student, which is debatable whether that should happen or not, or they know someone who knows about it. But I say yes, just because too many times people feel like they're forced to deal with things on their own when there are people who can help them. Yeah.
Mark?
So, first of all, there's no way... this is a question that's too complicated to come up with a good answer in 2 minutes on the spot.
Yeah.
So my first thought is, why should schools be in charge of this? It doesn't seem like it relates to the schools necessarily. Like, maybe police can get involved or something if it's that bad. But I don't really see why the schools are doing anything, unless it's done on their computers or something. I don't know, in their classrooms, people are on their phones and bullying people. Then I don't think the schools should really have anything to do with it.
Julie?
I'm not sure quite yet. If it's cyberbullying, I mean, I would hope that the school is someplace where they could feel comfortable enough to learn. And if it's cyberbullying, it's different than them physically being bullied, give me your lunch money or shoving them in a locker or something like that. You know what I mean?
But it's got implications well beyond just...
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm not downplaying the effects of cyberbullying. Like, I'm saying it would be harder to monitor versus watching some kid get pushed into a locker every day as somebody, or slush eater or something. You know what I mean? I feel like if the parents know that it's going on and they can ask the school to step in, I don't think that the school should be like, no, it's not my prerogative. I'm not doing that. But I don't think that they're responsible to be monitoring that. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's such a new thing, you know. Well, when we were in school, if you were going to get bullied, it was to your face, you know. But now, kids can be so awful, and it's heartbreaking. But I feel like if the school is asked to at least monitor and intervene with that, I don't think that they should be like, no, I don't want to. But I don't think that it should be on them or their responsibility to make sure it's not happening. I hope I'm getting my point across correctly. Does that make sense? Or am I talking crazy?
No, it makes sense to me that it's if it's there and they're aware of it, they should be doing something. But
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
I would say yes if the school receives a complaint or the cyberbullying is, you know, having an effect on the learning environment somehow, that cyberbullying is translating into actual bullying in the school environment and it disrupts learning. But I would not, so I'd support it in those situations, but I would not support schools just trolling, you know, students' Facebook pages and Twitter pages and whatever, because I think that, like, it becomes a little intrusive, you know what I mean?
I agree. It's for me. It's kind of like you have warrants that people are supposed to use in order to search people's property. Maybe not a warrant, but some sort of official declaration as to why they're doing something. Like they need just cause and need to be able to prove why they did something. Because I'd be really pissed off if my school went through my stuff without having a reason of it.
I agree. Yeah.
But I think nowadays bullying isn't so much physical, just like theft is not so much physical. Most theft is, you know, cyber, or most threats are cyber. So in my mind, it's underplayed, and a lot of people, especially, I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but on show of hands, somebody says cyberbullying, and they're like, "Oh, turn the computer off. It's really simple." Like, it's really not that simple. But, you know, I just think it's heavily underplayed, and people don't understand the effect that it can have on those that are being cyberbullied. So, again, some people can or realize that they have help, and other people are dealing with it, and they don't realize that there are people who can help them. So I would be okay with them if they provided just cause.
Which, what do you think?
I don't know. It's one of those things. If it's generated inside the schools, that's one thing you can kind of keep an eye out for. You know, like if it's on school computers, I mean, I know when I was in high school, all the computers in our library had was it key counters, so they were actually monitoring what you were typing.
Please use this computer to make your online purchases.
Yeah, right. But I don't know. I think cyberbullying is an issue. I mean, once something's online, like, I mean, for example, I screwed up in a poll today. It spelled something wrong, and I had to be told how to close down the poll. So, I mean, even still, it's still there. Like once you put something out there, it stays there.
Oh my God. Tell me about it.
Right. It's not like there's much people can do. Cyberbullying is a whole new what is it, basket of worms or something? I can't remember the thing.
Can of worms.
Yeah, thank you.
Most people get them in one can at a time. But.
Right. But it's just something that's just kind of hard to deal with because you can't. It's really hard to take something down off of whatever medium they're using once it's put up. So to monitor that or to try and regulate that I think the only thing you can do is anything that's after it's already happened, and once it's already happened, it's kind of already done the damage. So the most you can do is just kind of either give support, or if a student asks for help them out. But besides that, I don't know how much else you can do.
Yeah. There's surely not too much to be added to that, I think. Which End Is Up asks, is whether something is evil determined more by the intent or by the outcome? I'll start with Mark here.
Oh boy.
And I think there have been a few polls somewhat related to this idea fairly recently.
Well, I don't want to be the like downer on the party or whatever, but like evil, what's the like definition here? Because I don't know. You have to be able to say concretely that something is evil. It's really just mostly gray. I don't know. I would say the outcome, because like Hitler probably had good intentions. I know, yeah, but
not really.
Well, no, the intentions were good in his mind.
Yeah, like everyone has good intentions in their own mind, right?
Yeah, well, true.
For the most part.
Fair.
So I would say the outcome, but not necessarily always.
Kyle?
I don't really, when someone says evil, I don't. It doesn't really apply to me because I don't, I guess, technically believe in good and evil, but in the general perception of it, I couldn't pick one or the other. I would lean more towards the result because it's what people can actually see and measure and evaluate. Someone can have intentions, and it might be something in their own mind, but your perception of their intentions might not be what their intentions actually were. So it's a lot easier to evaluate something that you can actually see that has been done.
Julie?
Yeah, I would be inclined to more lean towards the outcome because, as you know, Kyle had pointed out, it's something that people can actually see. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of lawyers are, well, did they intend, or did they actually, whatever. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with more of the outcome.
Cool.
Well, like, I don't really believe in evil either, but I don't really want to turn this into another relativist versus absolutist debate. So I'm going to say intent because, just like if you look at the Soviet Union, for example, like originally, you have Lenin and Trotsky, like their intent is really positive. Like they're not trying to be evil. They're really trying to help, Russia's poor and everything. But it turned out disastrous, and a lot of people call, especially in the United States, we call communism evil. But that's kind of silly, because originally the intent was extremely positive, very, good. It wasn't, so I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to just because something didn't work out to call it evil,
Ooch.
Some actions seem to contain I guess, less good. If you want to look at evil as the absence of good, I mean, like, some acts in themselves do have bad in them. I don't know if that makes them evil, or if you want to say that they have less good in them or less intention of good. But I mean, it's kind of like the whole Robin Hood question I saw a while ago. I can't remember who put that poll out there, but like, if Robin Hood is stealing from the rich to give to the poor because the poor are being manipulated and their money is being taken from them by taxation and things like that, then is that an evil thing? I mean, you're stealing from somebody and giving it to somebody else. It's like, so to say that an action is evil from the start, there's probably, like, there's some aspects to it beforehand, but I think also the outcome also determines whether or not the act entirely as itself, like, altogether, is evil.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a line there somewhere about differentiating between good and evil versus, differentiating between evil and tragic.
Right.
And I think a lot of times, to me, a lot of times results would tell you whether something is tragic or not, and maybe the intent would get more towards evil or not. But I'm not sure. I found this question and I thought it was a good question, and I didn't actually spend any time thinking about it very much, to be perfectly honest. So I think my immediate answer would be maybe intent, but I'm not sure. Mr. Milk Dud says says the rumor that Ebola victims become zombies is gaining traction in China.
I remember this poll.
So much so that their state-run media is trying to dispel it. If Ebola starts to spread in the U.S., what will be worse, the disease itself or the public reaction? I guess the first sentence wasn't necessary, but it was entertaining at least.
Yeah. I think one of the first comments was, I think it's more concerning that they actually think that they're going to become zombies.
Well, I mean, every third movie now is some kind of zombie-related movie. I guess if the zombie thing is going to happen, it would be in the form of some virus. But regardless, if Ebola starts to spread in the U.S., which is going to be worse, the disease or the reaction? We'll start with Julie.
I'm gonna go with the reaction. No, I lied. That's not what I meant. The actual disease. I mean, like, it's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. And if it actually starts spreading and becomes an actual problem, it's gonna be a big problem. I mean, people are freaking out about it already, so I don't know. I'm going with the actual disease. It's bad.
I want to agree with you. I think people find anything they can to freak out about. And
if they're worried about zombies, I think there are other things that have turned people more into zombies than Ebola.
Kyle.
I want to say the reaction, because the disease itself, though the people who are infected with it, really bad. But in the United States, you have groups of people that have no knowledge of seemingly anything, but they're always the people that are talking about everything. So we'll call them Fox News and MSNBC and CNN. But,
If I had the applause button, it'd go for you.
Yeah, let me try and find that. No.
It's a lot of fear-mongering, and you have things that aren't really issues becoming issues, and you have people are you afraid of the Ebola in Texas? I'm like, no, 50,000 times that I've answered this. No, I'm not. But the media makes it seem like even if it becomes a big issue, depending on how big you're talking about, like if half the country gets it, okay, I'd be a little concerned. But if 1,000 people get it, which is, I mean, in a year, Ebola will kill like 1,000 people, which I know my reaction is pretty like, oh wow, that's terrible. But relative to a lot of other diseases that are out there and killing people, I'm going to say the reaction.
Mark?
So the question said, if it starts to spread, I assume it means it's spreading pretty badly and killing people. So, I mean, obviously, the disease is worse. And what Kyle was talking about, it doesn't matter what the issues are out there. There are going to be people who are reacting ridiculously. And so, I don't know. It's weird to say that the reaction is worse when...
Okay, so... no, in all of Africa, I mean, again, this sounds pretty cool to say, but, there were 4,000 deaths as a result, or sorry, 3,000-ish deaths from Ebola. And the United States is vastly medically superior.
Right.
I mean...
Ebola is almost certainly, not going to spread, but...
no, that's not what I mean, but, if it does spread... Sorry, I'll shut up now.
No, it's fine. I want to go for it.
They're focusing so much on this, whereas there are so many things that have a greater chance of killing people. I mean, more people will die in car accidents than they'll die from Ebola in the United States.
I was going to mention that. I was just going to mention that.
But it's like, they're focused so much on this, so then everyone's like, I have to go out and buy an Ebola bubble.
Yeah, right now the reaction's ridiculous. I don't know if I would say that right now the reaction is worse than the disease, because it has killed a few thousand people. But if it legitimately started to become a problem, then the reaction would actually be less bad than it is now, and the disease would be worse. And so I would say most definitely Ebola is worse.
Well, it really depends on the scale that we're talking about. I mean, if you're talking about 10,000 people get infected with it, honestly, personally, I wouldn't be all that concerned with it. If, like I said, it was half the country and...
Although statistically, those 10,000 people, half of them would be near you, personally.
That's okay.
Unless it's you.
It's not an airborne.
At which
it's not
point,
an airborne thing. That's why it doesn't matter.
No,
you have to come in contact with fluid.
Right, and you're totally right. If it's just about which is more concerning, the disease or the reaction, then yeah, it's the reaction. But the premise is, if this is already spread, or if this does spread.
Guys, it's in Texas. I'm going to die here in New York.
Well, again, but it's if it starts this, or if it's actually spreading, and if it's actually spreading, then yeah, it is an awful, awful thing. But yeah, you're right. The likelihood is
No, I was
less
basing
than
it
that.
off of the media right now. Just like, there's one
Oh,
case
yeah.
in Texas. Everyone is going to die tomorrow.
It's true. I do like how as soon as that case in Texas was cited, and then the one in DC, how suddenly like every fourth or fifth poll that you read is, have you stocked up enough stuff to be quarantined for 2 weeks? Like,
Yes, I have.
yeah, maybe. Like, have you?
I've put on the fat to last for that long.
I've stocked up enough stuff to be quarantined for as long as I think I will need to be quarantined. I'll say it that way. It didn't take very long. Cole.
Well, I would say even if it did start to spread, like Kyle said, we're a medically advanced country. I think we could keep it under control where the death rate would be very, very low in the United States at least. So it's just not that big of a concern, honestly. There are so many other, things to worry about, so many other things that, could kill you, that have a way higher chance of killing you. So
If this question were worded, which is worse, the Sandy Hook massacre or the public reaction to it, everyone would say the Sandy Hook massacre, and it's not killing as many people as Ebola is. So I don't know. It's silly to me that the people think there's only a few thousand people. That screw them. Like
No, I'm talking relative to the effects that it would have, because the effects of the reaction to people calling it an epidemic, pandemic, whatever, it could affect the economy at large. It could affect government policy. Its implications are more than just me saying, okay, 3,000 people died, and sounding so callous in saying that. But yeah, that is terrible, and I don't want anyone to die or be affected by the disease. But the reality of it is, if you have a nation of, say, 350 million people, and 10,000 have Ebola, and that's all that are going to have it, but they dictate policy saying every single person has to do this or every single person has to do that, the implications in my mind of that happening are quite large. And that's it, and I'm going to stop there.
Hooch, you lost your dog.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
I do. I don't know. I agree with Mark on this one. Like the effects, like if you're talking about either people dying or just being annoyed with other people complaining about it, or the fact that other people are stocking up with it. Like they're just, it's any sort of, like, I guess, worrisome event is going to cause somebody to panic. There's TV shows already about people preparing for zombies. So I mean, like, whether or not people are going to panic about disease is one thing, but there are actually people that are being affected by a disease. Like I think that's a little bit more worrisome than just the public's reaction to saying, "Oh no, we might get it, and it could be bad. We could die." Because that's true. If you get Ebola, I mean, there's a large possibility you will die. So, like, the actual disease, I think, is a lot worse than just people panicking about a disease. I mean, you do need to get word out when something like this does break out. So it's got to go through some outlet, and some people may not take it seriously. Other people take it way too seriously. But I think the fact is that there are people that are dying from a disease. That's more, I guess, of an impact than somebody just stocking up their basement with enough food to last for.
Not just that, though, but you always have people who, when they hear that there's this disease, they're going to go around carrying their shotguns, and if someone comes close to them, they're just going to be like, "Hey, oh, you didn't have Ebola, I just shot you anyway." Not saying that's like a typical reaction, but it's like Y2K14.
But again, you compare the body count of Ebola to the crazy shotgun people.
Or Y2K.
I'm thinking of hypothetical, more widespread reactions.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I wasn't thinking so much about like changes to policy.
Yeah, that is a good point.
And I do see what you mean.
I mean,
with
I
that,
wasn't
but
like
that's-
those minor. I mean, isolated incidents aren't so much what I was referring to, but that's one aspect of it, and then you have the larger possible effects.
Um, one that's a little bit less. So one from Terry Quinn. He says, should K through 12 education be reformed so that most high school graduates can qualify for jobs that currently require a bachelor's degree? Start with Hooch. Right then.
Yeah. I don't know. Start with somebody else on this one. I don't know this one yet. I have to think about it.
I think that high school should be reformed so that people can be prepared if they so choose to go on to a four-year institution, so that when they graduate from there, they are well prepared for a job. But I don't think that K through 12 was meant to teach kids that amount of information in that amount of time. And I can guarantee you that if they did start doing that, there are a lot of universities that are going to be pissed because now kids don't have to go to college if they are then going to know what you should know after you graduated from college. Am I misinterpreting the question?
No, no, I don't really think so. I think it's that difference between like the liberal arts college that's going to try and do the whole well-rounded and we're going to make you take 55 extra classes versus the like straight up trade school. I think, I don't know, I think in my head I took this as should K through 12 education have you set up with the equivalent of what's currently K through 12 plus a trade school type thing, but that's me interpreting, so I don't know.
I think they have bigger issues to worry about of just getting their students prepared to go to a four-year institution if that's what they want to do, or even a trade school. You know what I mean? It's not a surprise nowadays. A bachelor's degree or some sort of college degree is crucial in the job market now, and I don't know. I don't think that they should be teaching them what they're learning in college. I don't know. I don't know.
I think there's a lot of issues with the way that most schooling is set up anyways. Come here. Come here. What are you doing?
What? No. Okay, he's talking to his dog, first of all.
Cool, how about you?
Sorry, she stepped on something and was hurting. Sorry.
I would say, well, as I'm a senior in high school, there's like, for a lot of students that aren't going to go off to a four-year institution that, just aren't the college type of student, but, for them, I think, like, there's a lot of time wasted in high school taking classes that aren't necessarily applicable to their future career if they're not going to go to a four-year institution. If if they're going to be more the hands-on blue-collar type worker. So I think for those students, we could reform high school into being more of a trade school substitute. So and then they would graduate at 18 with the capabilities of someone who graduates from a trade school now. I think that would be really beneficial to them. But again, not for everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say when would they start funneling them into that other part of school then to get them ready for trade school? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people who would go to college then, would they be given a different curriculum that they had to follow? And then at
Yes.
what point would you have to choose? I think I'm going to be a trade school type of person, or I think I'm going to give this college thing a try.
Maybe like 10th or 11th grade. I mean, yeah, I'd say 11th grade because what trade schools are typically 2 years? I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe 11th grade. That gives them enough high school experience to see if they're mentally capable of handling the type of work that they'll be expected to in college. So
Yeah, I think Cole has a point too. Is that I wasn't when I was in high school, I wasn't forced to make a decision until I actually graduated. Once I actually graduated, I had to sit down and think about it. But it's not that I couldn't make the decision earlier. Like I could have made the decision earlier whether or not to do trade school or go to college or continue pursuing like a classical education. I think it was just I didn't need to until I actually graduated. So once I was kind of put in that situation, I think you kind of sit down and evaluate whether or not you actually want to continue with the education or not. So I think if you wanted to reform schools in that way, it might help and it might not. I know there were students at my school that actually in 10th and 11th grade were going to there's a trade school that was in part with our school that you could actually take credit for classes by going to those schools and learning a trade, and some of them when they graduated high school had enough of an education to just do become an electrician or whatnot, and that was exactly what they wanted to do. They didn't want to go to college, they wanted to do trade school in that way.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that's a good thing to offer. My sister's school does that on a limited on a select basis, though.
Mark?
I'm going to say no. I don't think it's possible for a lot of different reasons. For one, I mean, when you're in high school, generally your parents have a lot of control over you. So if you're forced to make some life-altering decision at a high school age, unless there are other legal things that go along with this, your parents could decide your life, sort of. Yeah. And it's a lot of things. I think getting a sense of all the different directions you could go is very important. And yeah, that's not something you could get if you streamlined the high school process necessarily. You might not be able to learn what, I don't know, high school level subjects are like.
Kyle?
No to this question, but I would say they need to reform the high school system in the sense that right now we're only gearing people to go to college instead of preparing people to actually use what they're learning. I mean, I know that, for one, college isn't for everyone.
Absolutely.
Straight up, not everyone likes going to college. And to me, college should not be strictly about grades. It should not be strictly about getting a job. It should be about actually learning. And I know personally, granted, I am very much focused on getting a job that I want to be in, but I'm more focused on the grade aspect than I am actually learning stuff. Quite honestly, I will do what it takes to get myself a good grade. I'm not saying anything further than that, but
And how's your loved one, did you say?
But I think too often the actual learning aspect, and the focus has been so drawn away from that. Not that this has anything to do with the question. It's just me being tired of babbling. So.
Um, so I tutored at a college for a while, and um, about halfway through, maybe a third of the way through the second semester of this two-semester math sequence, someone showed me their homework problem, and it was, what is the largest two-digit number? Um, this means that they've had a full semester of college math, and then another, quarter, third of a semester of college math beyond that. That all comes before what is the largest second-digit number, or two-digit number. Um, and this part's not too relevant, but it finishes the story at least. I told him, let's look at the largest one-digit number, and I listed numbers 1 through 10. And, well, this one's 2 digits, so the ones before that, the last one before that, 9, must be the largest one-digit number. And I left him alone, and like minutes later, like 10, 15 minutes later, they said, it's 99. Yeah, what are you talking about? The largest two-digit number. Yes. I mean, yes, you're right. It is 99. I look at their paper, they had like the numbers 1 through 115 or so listed out, so they had kept going. I had to go back.
Wait, this is serious? This actually happened? Wow.
Yeah, this actually happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, I suppose the point of that quick little story is that I completely agree with Julie that it would be really nice if a kid who was coming out of high school with the intention of going to college was in any way prepared for college. And obviously it depends on where you go to school. Julie and I went to 2 different school systems, and at her school system it was more or less assumed that most were going to college, I think. And at mine it was not. Yeah,
at the same time, you have.
What's that?
The bigger issue is that you have universities, not universities. You have high schools. You have universities. Damn it. You have high schools that are they're trying to teach everyone the same stuff and do it in the same way and expect them to learn and expect them to all. Essentially, you're teaching people to all do the same thing. I mean, some people aren't going to go to college, but you're teaching them the same as the people that are going to college. You're teaching people that are going to college for 2 years stuff that people who are going to college for a decade. It's just, it's too generalized, and there are ways around it, but typically the people who can get those things around it are people who can pay a lot of money. And statistics really show that people with a lot of money or their kids do substantially better than the economic classes below them, going tier by tier. So,
yeah, just look at the SAT. Someone just posted a question about that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we have another issue that I think all of us are talking with an experience in reasonably urban areas, right? Like not too far removed. Is anyone from a particularly rural area where you wouldn't have possibilities of necessary, like at my high school, things were differentiated enough to where there were different classes available. There were classes available for pretty much whatever you were going to be doing. I think we offered like 25 AP classes.
25?
Wow. Yeah, it might even have been a little bit more than that. But when you've got a school that's out, in the middle of cornfields that has 600 students in the entire school or something. That's not a possibility. Is everyone coming from a situation where they went to a reasonably big high school? I don't know.
There were
kind of in the middle.
My high school only had 2 or 3 AP classes, and I'm pretty sure as long as I was there, nobody got more than like a 2 on them, so they were not well taught at all.
Wow.
It was pretty out there. I don't know. It was bad.
Anyone else? Was anyone from a smaller school?
I came from a small school. Like, my graduating class was 55.
Seriously?
Oh, mine was 600.
And that was like one of the larger graduating classes. Actually, 3 years before I graduated, the graduating class was, I think, like 18.
Man, you feel like a dummy if you didn't graduate top 10.
Well,
Sorry.
Mine was 600, and we had 1,400 incoming freshmen the year I graduated.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not in any way sustainable, the district split. But
so, I mean, the school that I came from, it was a smaller school. We had a lot of AP classes. There was and actually, when I think it was either the year I graduated or the year before I graduated, the school is actually ranked in the top 55 schools in the country for high school for graduating classes.
Wow. Is it public or private?
It was actually it was a pretty new school. It was one of Michigan's new tryout type schools. It was a public charter.
Wow. Okay.
And
we have a lot of charter schools in Michigan.
Yeah. This one was a public charter, so it was weird the way that they defined it. But the thing is that they offered those upper level classes, but like I said, they also offered students to be able to go to a trade school if they needed or if they wanted, and there was one of those, there was a lot of good options. Like, if you wanted to do one thing, you had tons of options to do that thing. So if you wanted to go into science or into physics or into a specified field, there was ways that you could do that. They would actually bring people in to help you do that. The art teacher that I had knew Dale Chihuly, who's a famous artist. I don't know if you've ever seen. Yeah. He was actually good friends with Chihuly, and Chihuly would come into my art classes all the time. I mean, so there was tons of there was tons of opportunities for you to experience whatever you needed to experience. The only thing that you really couldn't do, if you wanted to, was sports, because the school was too small. So, all of my sporting activities were outside of school. But in the school atmosphere, as far as curriculum goes, the jazz band and our band director, they got great reviews all the time. They had 4s and 5s all the time when they go and do their sight reading or whatever it was. I don't know. I can't remember if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I know it was a good thing.
4 and 5s and festival and stuff is bad. You want 1s and 2s.
Then there was 4s and 5s for AP classes, 1s and 2s for band. I know the graduating class that I had ended up having an average of, I think it was 32 on their ACTs.
An average of 32?
Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds like an awesome school.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Did you have to take a test to get in it?
When I first applied, it was small enough to where it didn't matter, but now there's a waiting list.
I bet, yeah.
I was going to say, they let any riffraff in when he started. Come on.
Yeah, I was not the best student. I was not one of the students that got a 32.
In his defense, though, I can very much vouch that Poop here is actually a really smart dude.
Yeah.
He's a really smart guy.
Yeah, that's debatable.
It's not. If Firefly says it's true, it's true.
Did anyone else go to a small school?
You thought I went to a small school.
Well, everything's small compared to
I
his
know, right?
1,400 freshmen. Gosh.
Yeah.
We split off and we had a freshman only building, and then they split the one high school into split. They had one high school and then we built a second high school
Okay.
and whatever. But yeah, but my school wasn't any kind of. It had a lot of opportunities, but it had a lot of opportunities for anything you wanted, including, a lot of drugs. There were a lot of drug problems, a lot of violence problems.
But at least you had a lot of AP classes too.
We had a lot of AP classes.
My school didn't have a computer science class. I work right now full-time software development, and I could not learn that in my high school, which is mind-blowing. But
That's sad. That really is.
I saw people shoot up in class. I mean,
We've had that too, but just not in large numbers.
it was a broad spectrum. But that was the last question I had. If anyone else has anything they'd like to add, ask.
I have one quick one. This is Sarah D. just asked this. So, assuming the federal government doesn't legalize same-sex marriage on a federal level, which state will be the last state? Will be the last to legalize same-sex marriage? And her answer choices are Alabama and another state.
The first three to pop into my head were Mississippi, Alabama, and Texas. Although Texas is just
not Texas.
Unfair. I was going to say Texas is an unfair reaction on my part, but Mississippi and Alabama would be my first two choices. Texas is too big, and any minority group is still going to have fairly large numbers when the population's that big. So Mississippi or Alabama.
I'm going to go with Mississippi.
My first reaction was Arkansas, but yeah, Mississippi and Alabama. I would say, yeah, Mississippi.
It's gonna be that or like North Dakota, where like there's
Utah.
nobody there.
Utah.
That's an interesting one. That's a possibility, actually.
Arizona.
The Mormons are. Never mind. I don't want to offend an entire group of people.
No, I was just thinking. Here's a state where
Let's have it,
where
Kyle.
a strict religion has a very strong impact.
I was just gonna say that you always have, and it's not just Mormons. I said that jokingly. In any area of the country, which is why when those supposed numbers of it being 3% of the population are so off beyond that.
They are off. I tried to
Beyond the fact that any survey taking is just, there's a margin of error. But you also have millions of people who don't feel safe or don't feel comfortable in society admitting that they are gay, bi, transsexual, what have you. So I think in Utah, as well as many other areas, it plays a factor in, I mean, sure you have plenty of closeted politicians, whether it's for religious aspects or sexual orientation aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of people who can't who can't be themselves for whatever reason. So I'm going to pull for Alabama, despite the fact that I had a very pleasant time when I visited.
Mark?
Me, didn't I already answer? I think I said
Oh yeah, you
Mississippi.
did. You did. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
What do you think?
Honestly, I feel like it's more likely that the federal government will step in before Mississippi legalizes it.
I think by the end of this Supreme Court term, not that they have to this session, I guess.
Yeah, session.
Which did you have a
Yeah, I said Mississippi or Arizona.
Arizona?
That's an interesting one.
Very, very conservative state.
Yeah.
But that's just personal experience that I've had with people from Arizona. But then again, Arizona also does. I'm really sorry. She's going crazy. Arizona does have a lot of people that move there from out of state versus, I don't know, many people that move to Mississippi from outside of Mississippi.
No one who has the option of moving to anywhere else would move to Mississippi.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Did anyone else have any other questions? Anything? All right. Then we will say that is it for today, and we'll see people next week. I heard a rumor that Show of Hands on Air was coming back at some point. If that happens, then we'll see. But in the meantime, we'll see people next week. And thank you to everyone for being on.
Nice.